What do I look like? Complete. What do you want me to say?
Just say, coming up on today's show.
Coming up on today's show...
An exclusive chat with defender Jordan Tunnicliffe as he talks about his injury and all things Christmas.
Family, friends, just catching up with everyone, and it's always good fun around Christmas time, yeah. Especially in Birmingham.
Manager John Yems answers all your questions as he reflects on the season so far.
Because my throat's got dry. Funny, it always goes like that when you mention 69, my throat goes a bit dry.
A game for you, the fans, to play at home, and a roundup of this season so far.
To the gap, Madison gets it square. Charles on the far side. Crawley back in front. Pure passes it home. Pure on the counter-attack gives Crawley the lead back. They trailed for only 3 minutes, and the fans over on that far side, all 383 of them, are absolutely rapturous again.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Christmas special of Talk of the Town. I'm delighted this week to be joined by Santa Claus.
Yeah, Santa, I must be related to him in some way, but I think you've got off quite lightly with your outfit.
Yeah, you've drawn the short straw there.
I think the lack of football recently, obviously another COVID outbreak, it's kind of got to my head a little bit, and I might have gone mad. Hence the outfit and the white gloves.
Yeah, no, it's been a quiet week, obviously without the football. It's been a bit strange. It sort of feels like we're all the way back in last year, but hoping that it won't get that bad again, that we have to go behind closed doors. But yeah, it's given us a chance to work on some bits, behind the scenes. We've even had a chance to do the player walk-ups and gifts for the scoreboard.
Yeah, we've been playing around with the scoreboard a little bit. It's been good fun. Obviously, I'm back on the PA now, which is exciting. We're testing the walkouts obviously before a game. Number one, Glenn Morris is going to be a lot more exciting than it usually is. His face is going to be up on screen as well. So yeah, we've been testing it out, and we're really looking forward to launching it.
Let's see how we got on during the week.
Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. Over the fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells on bobtails ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to laugh and sing a sleighing song tonight. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. I thought I'd take a ride, and soon Miss Fanny Bright was seated by my side. The horse was lean and lank, misfortune seemed his lot. We got into a drifted bank, and then we got upside. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
Yep, even with a week without football, we've still been busy behind the scenes. Plenty of exciting stuff to come on the scoreboard, hopefully against Bristol Rovers on the 29th. Talking of things to do, I believe you've had a chat with the gaffer today.
Yeah, chat with the gaffer dressed as Santa Claus. The minute I found out I had to sit down with John Yems dressed like this, I was a bit nervous. Yeah, he's quite a good Mickey taker, let's put it that way. But he had plenty to say. Obviously, we put out to the Twitter fans, the Instagram fans, questions you might have for the gaffer at pretty much the halfway point of the season now. Here's what he had to say. Gaffer, thanks for joining me. First of all, Merry Christmas. I'm sorry about the attire I've got on at the moment. I'm sure there's many jokes that can be made about that.
I don't know whether the fans could see that, but yeah, you look like you just, well, I don't know what you just look like, to be fair. No, you look all right now, mate. Get in the festive spirit of it all.
Exactly, especially in difficult times. Obviously, again, the COVID has struck. We got the news earlier, obviously, that the Stevenage game on Boxing Day has been called off. What's kind of been going on? How's it been as a football manager during this time?
Yeah, it's just mad because the EFL, in their wisdom, I don't know what their game is, to be fair. How they expect players to play the day after coming off of COVID, or even 2 or 3 days. Last year, I think it was 10 days you had to train, and I just think they are absolutely living in cuckoo land. I would say fairyland, but you can't say that this time of year. But I just think they've got to look at themselves and see what their main concern is. Is it the safety of the players, or is it money? And we all know money has to win, but I wouldn't, I don't think we should be responsible. I've had a word with Glenn, spoke to the PFA. I'm not going to be responsible. If a fella comes in or one of the lads come in and they don't feel well, then we're going to report that, because I don't want to be responsible. We had it last year with Tony Craig, Josh Wright, people that was coming back from COVID. The fans, we try to keep as much away from the fans, but they were suffering. And it's been proven in the tests that they've done last year. Nobody knows what's going on with the long-term stuff, but what we do know is it could take people different times to get their breathing right. And you can't just stop doing nothing for 10 days and expect to play 3 games in 3 days. But then, or five days, whatever it is, but then the EFL, they who shall not be obeyed, I just think they've got to get their finger out and get in the real world.
Obviously, we know how much of an impact it had on our season last time out. Obviously, that Bournemouth game, we were down to bare bones. Will it be the same for Bristol Rovers? Are the league expecting us to play that?
I haven't got a clue. And, you talk to other managers and that, and I think that's what I'm saying. There's got to be a little bit of clarity. I know the country's all up in the air at the minute, and, let's not say that we're pampered footballers, but it's all right with the Premier League because they're playing for money every week. We all know the reasons behind why they play their games. At our level, I'm just more concerned about the players. I couldn't really give a monkeys about anybody else or what goes on. And the fans come into the games. The fans don't want to pay money to see 2 makeshift sides playing, hoping that nobody gets ill, injured or whatever. We've still got 7, I think, still on our injury list who have got COVID as well. So it doesn't change. It's not easy for anybody, and it's not me whinging, and it's not other managers whinging, but I just wish the EFL would make the decision that makes sense.
We also we reached out to the fans for some questions over Twitter and Instagram. We've got about 50 of them. We won't go through all of them because we'll be here all day, but we've got some good ones. The first one is something you've touched on before. Ivan Knoll asks, can you keep hassling and texting the presenters on EFL and Quest until they give in and give us some decent coverage, please?
It was funny because obviously Clinton, I've known Clinton since he was a kid, and I get on at him and I get on at Ollie. For some reason, they don't seem to like Crawley. I don't know what it is. But, listen, they tell you all sorts of things. It made you laugh, though, because when we played Leeds, everybody wanted to see us. And I refused to talk to Quest, so until they sort that, even our fans, they don't associate, they seem to associate with quite a few other clubs' fans and that. But some of the things that our lads have been doing and our fans, and, we celebrated, the 12th year or 13th year in the league and all these sorts of things. They don't underestimate the achievements. All they're doing is looking for their next jobs. But Clinton and that, Ollie, they're good people. The presenters are good on there, whether they got the airtime. But I totally agree with you. I think the coverage we got on there is absolute crap.
Sam Jordan's asked, after recent strong performances in midfield, where do you think George Frankham's best position is?
No, George is one of them players. That's why I made him captain. We've had to utilise certain players for certain positions because all said and done, and hopefully we get a question about it in a minute, we haven't got a big squad. And George can play right back. He can play midfield. He's even had to play centre half, as we know, up at Bristol. And I wouldn't like to say where George's best position is. Of course, he's a good midfielder, but he's also a good right back. Is he beneficial for us in the midfield? Yes, he is. But then, it's good to say that we've got someone who can actually do that, which is important when we try to sign players at this level, that we may ask them to do one or two other jobs. And all our lads that have had to do other jobs have done it, some of them under duress, but they've had a go for you, and that's all you can ask.
January's fast approaching. We've got a lot of transfer-related questions. What's kind of our ambition going into the transfer window? What do we want to try and pick up?
I know we know we need to strengthen, and we've got to shift a few out. We know that. I'm looking to make the squad as best as we can and push forward. Have we got the money and the funding to do that? I don't think we have. So, it's lucky that we know people, and me and Lee, we've got our notebooks open, looking at players, looking to strengthen it all the time, but it's related down to funds, and I don't think there's any funds to bring anybody in above what we've got. But you know that when you take the job. It's not me moaning about that, but I think the fans got to realise that that's where we are at the minute. We can see the areas where we need strengthening. You don't have to be a rocket scientist, and whether we get the funding for that or players become available that fall in our budgets, we've got to wait and see.
We've got a lot of questions about positional transfers. Obviously, a lot of people bringing up strikers, and do we need another central midfielder? Is there any positions in particular you might be looking at?
Listen, if you get a good player who's available and fits in our budget and can score you 20 goals for £60 a week, then of course you're going to take him. We all know it needs strengthening, but unfortunately you're governed by what you've got to spend. And it's not, it's a secret that in the current climate, I think we're the third or fourth or whatever it is, whatever low budget we're on. But I know that, we know that, and we've got to work within the budget. I can sit here and I get players phoning me all the time, but can we afford them? Of course we can't. And that's not disrespectful. We've got to look after the ones that are doing well for us here first as well. Let's reward the players and the boys that have been doing well, and then we can build on that. You're always looking to build and go forward.
Leads nicely on to another question by Harry Loves CTFC. He says, is it hard being manager for Crawleytown?
It's hard being manager anywhere at the minute, but no, because you enjoy being manager. And sometimes I get accused of being too truthful. Sometimes people are calling me too mouthy or something. But listen, I'd like to think that you're honest with people and honest with the questions and honest with everything. Sometimes it don't like the answers, and maybe I've got to brush up on my diplomacy a little bit. But all the boys that we went up on the train at Hartlepool, we had a right good laugh, and you felt like you was one of the supporters. That's why I like managing it, because you're managing it for the fans, and every fan. We don't try and alienate anybody, but at the end of the day, you're judged on results, and you want to make sure that you're trying your best to get the results with the resources, and everybody knows sometimes why you're picking a side, which is so important that the fans get behind us, because clubs like this, you're not the 11th, I've said it before, you're the 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th man sometimes.
Yeah, you touched on the importance of having a laugh. Matthew Townsend's actually asked who's the funniest player in the squad.
What do you mean, ability-wise, or just the fun? Always messing around and joking about, I would say, as it happens, we ain't got too many. But I would say Cressy comes into a bit of that, to be fair. And then when you see him play up front, sometimes you understand why. No, we got a good bunch. That obviously, I try not. We don't run it like a sixth form college. They're all adults. They all have a laugh. They all have a joke. But I think a lot of it is at each other's expense more than anything else.
Obviously, we made some new additions in the summer. Would you say Kwesi's kind of the main player that you're maybe surprised at his ability or the way he's come on since he's been here?
No, not surprised at all. That's why we signed him. No, listen, we've got to take a chance on players. We sign players and we know players, again, fall within your budgets, fall with what you do. You've got to make it happy. You've got to make players want to come here and play football. And now we're keeping hold of some of them, with some of the players that we've got here. They enjoy playing for Crawleytown. They enjoy the supporters when we win. Nobody likes losing. Nobody goes out there to get beat. But the atmosphere in the dressing room is second to none I've ever been in, and that comes from from the top right the way down. But as soon as we shut that dressing room door, we know that we're all in it together and everybody's going out to give the best for ourselves.
Obviously, we know that you've not only been at Crawley, but at Bournemouth, at Exeter, so many different clubs, Fulham. George Brackers has touched on, he's asked, who's the favourite player you've ever worked with in a team? Is there one you could pick out, talent-wise, perhaps?
No, Cullen Wilson, obviously, when we got him from Coventry. Matt Ritchie's lively as anything. Tom Nichols, since you've seen him develop at Exeter. No, there's too many. I wouldn't single out individuals, but even Clinton Morrison when he was a kid, Peter Crouch when we had him at Dulwich was good to work with. But they're the names that some of the boys that you don't get, even when we was here before with Judgy and Woozy and people like that. Danny Bullman when we signed Bully here the first time, he was great to work with all the time. No, I'll try at where I've been lucky. I keep in touch with a lot of the players, so we must be doing something right. They still want to talk to you. Some of them you wouldn't want to talk to, if those are the only people on the end of a phone. But 99% of them all enjoyable to work with.
And obviously frustrating time with the football, but it is the festive period. Reese has asked, how will you be celebrating your Christmas this year without the game on Boxing Day?
Watching another game and training Boxing Day morning, because we're lucky in football. Don't get me wrong. With all the current things with the nurses and everybody working, we're lucky in football. You get paid for turning up and kicking the ball about. But there is a lot that goes on behind it, and we have our Christmases when you're on a beach somewhere, hopefully this year, when you're on holiday. But it's the fans' time to enjoy it. They're all with their families. The players are with their families, more important. So, my kids are grown up now, so let's make sure that everyone else gets a chance to be with their kids.
Someone by the name of Thunderwood, which is a bit concerning, has asked a question. How good was Orient away? How important were the fans in that win? And let's try not to touch on his name too much.
Thunderwood, I should imagine Thunderwood's got his. You talked about nicknames. We knew it'd be a tough game there. We set up how we was, but we finally had a side out when we picked players in positions that we know may suit them, and we've got a bit of strength in depth. But as I said to you, one swallow don't make a summer. But when you see all the fans, especially when they equalised, and the goal, the way they equalised, and you think, oh no, here we go again. Another spawny game where we've worked hard, tried hard, and never got nothing out of it. And then when we got the second goal, and I think we could have gone and got a few more. And when the final whistle blew, it was like, it was really good. Not just the result of beating Orient, but it was the performance as well. And the fans was just, you would have thought, I didn't think there was any Orient fans there at the end. And the way but I keep saying it, you've got to give them something to cheer about. And like I keep referring back to my trip to Hartlepool with the boys and that, they love it every minute of it. You've got to give them something to cling to, and you've got to give them something to believe in. That's why I keep telling people, don't lose the faith in it. It will be a tough year. I said this in May time. It will be a tough year this year. But let's all stick together. Let's hope there's a lot more Orient. You know what I mean? That's just it won't be a one-off. That's got to be what we now. We've set our stall out now. That's where we're getting. We're still not where I want to be, but you see little glimpses of it against Orient, and we stuck together and come through it.
And I suppose when we have all those players returning from injury and from COVID, we'll have a much better chance of being where you want to be in the table, I suppose.
Who asked that question? Was it you, Father Christmas?
Father Tom.
Yeah, well, that's what I say. We've got a good squad. I say to you, I've never been anywhere where we've had the injuries. Now with the COVID on top of that and everything, but it could be a blessing in disguise. All things. Every club goes through a little bit of diversity through the year, and let's hope we come through it in a little better position than what we went in it. To be honest with you, but let's see. Let's see. And next couple of weeks will be COVID-free, hopefully, for everybody, and injury-free for us as well.
And obviously the chants have been brilliant. There's been a few new ones out there, one in particular that you might have in mind. Stuart Cook says, is your second favourite number 96?
I had to take a drink then because my throat's got dry. Funny, it always goes like that when you mention 69, my throat goes a bit dry. Yes, whatever. Sois un neuf, as they say in France. Always been my favourite number.
And Christmas Day, obviously, Gaffer, what's normally on the agenda? What do you normally get up to, and what's the Christmas meal looking like?
Same as everybody else, I think. We got family round, Christmas round, family round, typical Christmas day. But no doubt the phone will be ringing, and you make sure everybody's all right for training. Be going to a game Boxing Day if they're on. And like I keep saying, we're lucky in the respect of being in football. It's a build up to match day, and you've got to give the fans something to sober up with, hopefully, or get back on the drink with when our next game's going on. Give them something to cheer about, because they've been really supportive over the year.
Joe T. Sharp has said, who's the player in the league you'd love to bring in the most out of any other team in League Two? Is there a player that's really stuck out?
This year, to be honest, not too many. I liked last year, I liked the boy Twine, who was at MK Dons now. I also liked the striker who we tried for from Morecambe, who's still there. I think he could have made a difference for us, but I'm quite happy other than that, because I've got to say that, because that's all we have got. But good question, because as I say, I think it's been so stop-start for too many. But it's interesting, because when you speak to other managers, we get quite a few people asking me about a couple of ours.
You're saying, can Joel Lynch have a new contract, please?
Obviously, Joel Lynch is phoned up in disguise. I'd love Joel Lynch to have a new contract. I think he's been fantastic round the place. He's stuck with it. You know, Joel's been offered certain things at different clubs, and he could have gone a bit higher. But I keep saying about the spirit here and the boys with Tony and George and Nico and Powley, Essie, Payne now is involved in it, Glenn. You've got a good little buzz going here, and you can't coach that. You can't put, that can't be coached. That's got to come from within, and that's a compliment to all the staff and everybody, Lee and Youngie and Joel, Marcus, all the way through to the physios that we've had to cover with Stevie and Ollie and that. And it's a compliment people want to stay, but tell Joel that I'll give him a call later.
The rest of the questions, we've got Liam Green saying that he loves you, so
I don't blame him.
That's nice. We've got Ollie Ricardo, who's just put the letter K in, that's it.
Yeah, that means could be Christmas, but he might not be able to spell.
We've had Cairns Finley saying, is Tom Nichols a great player?
I think Tom Nichols is one of the most underrated players, and he's been through he's had a lot of problems this year, Tom, and hopefully he's come through it. But as I said to you, last year he made Max Watters into the player that he was, in my opinion, and that was along with the rest of the team, by the way. But considering where Tom had come from, and people was putting me off for signing him, giving me all the bad stuff, but as I say, little old Tom Nichols done rolled. He's hopefully he's a good lad to work with. Tom, he's a good person.
Michael D has said, best match you've ever watched whilst in charge of Crawley?
Best match I've ever watched? I don't watch too many of them because you're crazy, but I think, to be fair, I watched the Leeds game, was a great for the actual the whole euphoria of it all. That was a very good game, because it was fun seeing Premier League players don't know what to do with the ball, because they wasn't used to playing the way against a team that we did. Because we know now we could play Leeds for the next 10 years and not beat them. But it was a great thing because we worked on it, and that gave us belief. Forest Green away was good as well when we beat them, and I would say Plymouth away, our first season, when we went and drew down there. There's been some shockers as well, by the way, but I think they just mended the door in here from a couple of them. So yeah, best said the better.
Secure our defense, secure your home.
I'm protecting our goal. You should protect your home with Secure 15 Innovation, Fire and Security.
Yeah, an excellent chat with the gaffer as always. Always a pleasure to sit down with him. But yeah, it's been a crazy year once again for him. Obviously, he had to deal with the COVID last year. Back again, COVID this season. All the injuries we've got, especially Jordan Tunnicliffe.
Yeah, no, Jordan's been a big miss. You know, it's no secret. Obviously, player of the season. Well, in part the team of the season. You know, officially voted by Sky last year. So that's no mean feat in itself. So for him to be out, obviously we saw it firsthand at Hartlepool, first away game of the season. Didn't expect it to be that bad. He started to come back. He's picked up another little knock, and then he's picked up another little knock. He said to me, he thinks he's jinxed it because, he said at the start of the season when he got that injury, I've never had an injury like this, so hopefully that's my one done. And he said ever since then he's been getting, more and more off the back of it. So yeah, really unlucky. But I think you had a little catch up with him earlier in the day as well, didn't you?
Yeah, we spoke to Jordan over Zoom earlier in the day. Here's what he said.
Sonny, first of all, Merry Christmas. Thanks for joining me. How's everything going?
Merry Christmas to you too. Yeah, not too bad. Still injured at the minute, unfortunately. It's been a long time. I've never had anything like this in my career. It's been like nearly 5 months now. Done it at Hartlepool. That was my last game and the first game of the season. I pulled my calf that game. So really frustrating time. I come back from that about a month later, but I had tendonitis and I had to have like 4 or 5 weeks layoff from that. Coming back from that, I pulled my calf again. And like this is where I am now, getting back to fitness. Hopefully I'm not too far away now, but there's no point rushing. I've probably rushed in the past. That's probably why I got re-injured again. So I'm not going to do that again. I'm going to take my time. Been supporting the lads a lot, and I know it's really frustrating not watching games, but I've been beyond the lads, and I've enjoyed watching the lads, to be fair, because they've been doing well. They've been unlucky in large parts of the season, but there's still a lot of games to go.
We know how much of a remarkable season you had last time out. Has it been a bit of a shock to the system having all this time out suddenly?
Yeah, a big shock to the system. I haven't been injured probably in about 6 seasons now. I've played a lot of football in the last 6 years, and whether it's just catching up with me, I'm not sure. It is hard watching the lads. I try to get involved as much as possible because the lads who always say they're injured for a long time, sometimes you don't feel like involved and you don't feel part of the squad. But not at this football club. There's a good set of lads and there's a good management team and there's a lot of good staff behind the scenes, and you always feel part of it. So it has been a stressful time and not really something I've experienced before, but something I've half enjoyed watching lads do well.
And we know it's not been a straightforward injury for you either. Very frustrating, 1 or 2 different ones added on. How's that all been, kind of picking up different injuries and having to work on different things to get better?
When you get injured, you try and build up most of your muscles in your brain. You strengthen one thing and then something else goes. I've done my right calf before, and then it was my left Achilles where the tendonitis was really sore. So it was trying to balance them both and trying to mentally overcome different injuries. That's probably been one of the toughest things that I found with the injuries I've got, is because I've had 2 or 3 setbacks. It's not the physical side of things, it's the mental side of worrying whether you're going to get re-injured, because all I want to do is play games. That's all anybody else wants to do. So when you're coming back to fitness and you pull up with an injury, the next time you get to that stage, it's probably more of a mental battle than it is a physical battle. But I've got to that stage now where I think it's a mental battle, and I'm not too far away now.
Yeah, and obviously we know it's been frustrating. The fans are calling out for you to return. Is there any kind of timescale till you might be able to come back?
I'm definitely not going to be back this year. I'm looking forward to next year. And before I was putting dates on things, I was putting I want to be back for this game, this home game, then I want to be back for that away game. I'm not going to do that anymore. My aim is just to try and just take each day as it comes. I am looking in January, but I won't be playing any football this year. It would have to be the new year.
And obviously it's been a different time for you, as we've said. How is it kind of, as a footballer, playing football so often every season, to suddenly sort of having to work more on fitness and recovery at training and seeing the lads but not being able to join them on the pitch?
That 3 o'clock on a Saturday is playing a football game. When you're not doing that, it is really strange thing to do. I mean, I know it's only small, but you go into a Saturday night or a Sunday and you feel like you haven't accomplished anything. Even if you play a game and you lose, at least you know you've worked hard for the team or what have you. And when you've not been doing that, it's really weird. I've not really enjoyed that side of it, to be honest. Sometimes I get a bit nervous before games and stuff like that, and I even miss being a bit anxious. like a bit of an anxious, exciting feeling before games. I've not had that in 5 months, and I miss that. So it has been like a stressful time, as I've said, and yeah, it's part of the game being injured, but it's not a nice part.
And obviously, you had a great relationship, obviously, with both Tom Dallison and Tony Craig last season. You've got some new lads in the camp now. Obviously, Joel Lynch has come in with all his experience, and Ludwig's coming too. Are you looking forward to getting on the field with both of them?
Yeah, I've not played that high of a level, but I've been in teams that have been like quite successful, and the successful teams have always got the best squads and the best. Like when someone else is injured, like a player that comes in is just as good. I mean, I've been watching every game from the side, and you got, obviously everyone knows how good Tony is. You got Lynchy with his experience, and you can just tell like the level he's played. You got Ludwig, who's learning the game, and you can tell that he's going to be a great player in years to come. You know, like if I was that age and I was playing like League Two football, which I wasn't, like he's got the world at his feet really. I am looking forward to playing alongside some of them, hopefully in the coming weeks, months. But like this is where like the competition starts, and this is where like the best results will come out for Crawley, when each position has competition and everyone's fighting for their place. And then on the pitch, that means that everyone's playing well, and the club will get results. So I'm looking forward to the battle.
And obviously, we saw you in the away end at Walsall. I spoke to Tom Nichols after the game, who said he saw your big head in the crowd. He couldn't miss it. I think that inspired his goal.
Yeah, I think he spotted me in the crowd, and that definitely gave him that extra 10% needed. He's Nico, you know, the got to last season and how well he done. I mean, it's hard to be extremely consistent, and I mean, this season has been playing well, but he's just not been knocking the goals in. So I think he's deserved goals in some of the games he's played, and it's good to see him score again. And the teams, like the last few weeks I've been watching, it's more like the Crawley of old, like the last 5 or 6 games. I know we lost against Mansfield, but it's been enjoyable to watch, and especially at Orient, where I mean, I think everyone was there were watching, and I followed, like seeing how well the team played, and probably reminded them of how good the team are. And it's still so early in the season. I mean, there's been teams that have been in our stage before and like made the playoffs, so we just need to take each game as it comes. And if Nico hits top form, then I can't see why we can't do that.
And I know it's a frustrating layoff now for all the boys, obviously with the COVID outbreak. You know, we're missing the game on Boxing Day. Is it good though that we're coming on the back of the win? Obviously, we've beaten Leyton Orient, we've got the draw at Walsall. We can hopefully start back up again with some good form.
Yeah, it's like they always say, like when you're doing well, you need to play games, but it's going to be the same situation for everyone. You know, we're not the only one in the league that's like been hit with this, and we're having days off and stuff. Like everyone's in the same boat, and I think footballers, like you mentally switch off from that. We'll go into that next game, whether it's Bristol Rovers, and the mentality will be exactly the same than what it would have been from the Oldham at home game that should have been played. It's what we're paid to do, and I'm sure that like the momentum will carry on, and the lads will put in a good performance and hopefully get the 3 points.
And obviously it's Christmas now. We've got a nice festive period to look forward to. What does Christmas look like in the Tunnicliffe household?
Probably seeing it there with the Christmas tree behind. Just like, I think Christmas is the best time of year, so just a lot of memories, a lot of good times, some drink, family, friends, you know, just catching up with everyone, and it's always good fun around Christmas time, yeah, especially in Birmingham.
In Birmingham, I'm sure it's even better, even more festive. Christmas dinner, I'm going to finish off with, I want to ask this to as many people as I can. What's your favourite part of Christmas dinner?
What's my favourite part of Christmas dinner?
It's a very difficult question.
What's my favourite Christmas dinner? Probably the pudding. I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of turkey. Honestly, I swear to God, I'm not the biggest fan of turkey. Probably the roast potatoes or pigs in blankets. I'm very good for that.
Solid choices. Really glad to talk, mate. I can't wait to see you back on the pitch, hopefully in January. Fingers crossed. And have a great Christmas.
Cheers. Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Cheers, Tony. Thank you.
Brilliant to catch up with Jordan Tunnicliffe. Obviously, always a pleasure to hear from him. It's great to hear about his injury. You know he struggled a lot this year, but also good to hear about his Christmas habits as well.
Yep, speaking of Christmas, we've got a game show that fans this week can get involved in. It's just for you, being with the chance of winning Crawleytown Christmas bundle. All you have to do is guess which player is hiding under these 5 Santa outfits. 5 will come up on the screen, and if you email me, my email will come up on the screen with your answers. We pick, well, whoever gets the most, and then if everybody, draws or whatever, we do a little randomiser, and you can be in the chance with winning a CTFC Christmas bundle. Best of luck. Can you guess the Santa? Ta-da! Been one hell of a half season. Plenty of drama, plenty of things have happened. What's your highlight?
It's easy to say Leyton Orient, on the back of that win. I'm going to pick Barrow, just because the length of the journey and the heartbreak we suffered last season going down in the last minute and travelling all that way. I think Barrow away was a great day out and a good performance too, so that would be mine.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to say Leyton Orient, just on the basis of how good the fans were that day. Obviously, 363, 83, I think
383, yeah.
Yeah, no, really, really incredible support, and obviously getting the win under those circumstances as well. George Frankham's rocket, Kwesi Apai's brilliant finish, and just all-round good scenes, even in the press box, right in the sky as we were celebrating. So yeah, that probably tops the list for me. But there has been so many memories, and we're hoping to create so many more. But let's take a look at the best bits from this season that Charlie Palefoot put together. Yep, great work from our videographer, Charlie Palethorpe, as always. I think that's about all we've got time for.
Yeah, it is. Obviously, gutting we can't see you on Boxing Day. That one's been recently called off, but we're hoping for the 29th, Bristol Rovers at home. Get down here and there might be a thing or two on the scoreboard.
Yep, have a very, very Merry Christmas. There's only one thing left to say.
Come on, you Reds!
That's actually quite a good throw.
Yeah, just like to thank the Crawley fans. Have a nice Christmas. Make sure you all stay safe. Have a happy New Year. Keep the faith. Keep supporting us. The lads and everybody within really appreciate what you do for us and the club. No one over Esther undermates what a good club this is, and everybody that's here wants to be here. If they don't, I can assure you they won't be here. Let's hope the new year brings us loads of victories, and let's hope we can all sit and cheer, moan and groan together, not agreeing together, which is what it's all about, but most importantly of all, let's make sure that we enjoy it.